Welcome to Component Builder. I quickly want to give you an overview of what this application is able to do. The list of this can also be found on the component website, which will be in the description below this tutorial. Basically, your component can be more advanced than any Joomla component, adding much more fields, control to actually even restrict access to various fields per specific group. Your code are perfectly unified to as the strictest standards, and if anything comes up that we've missed, we obviously upgrade the extension, the component, and it then immediately implements these new changes. You can add custom scripting almost anywhere in the MVC. You can import and export feature to all backend views. Batch copy and move update feature in all backend views. History tracking in the backend. Dynamic flow field control to show and hide fields in amazing ways. And so you could go on reading. Really, this component has tons of features, many not even mentioned here. I'm just gonna quickly browse through the applications and mention some things as well. If you run into any issues with Component Builder, you can go to Open Issues and click on New Issue. This will take you to GitHub, where you can immediately create a new issue, and we will respond to that as quick as we can. Okay, you can also see existing issues that are open, and you can, if you see a question that another fellow developer has asked, you can jump in and reply. You can also search for issues by looking at the most recent closed issues. If there is a question that we've answered and you would like to know more about, you could click review this on GitHub and it will give you more. There's also obviously the README file that actually gets ported with the component, and regular updates, any changes or important notices that might come up, we'll add it here. So in the cPanel of the component, there are lots of views that one can access. Obviously, Component Builder is considered a compiler. Actually, it takes what you have sort of set up and it compiles the component for you. Now, you first need to set up fields, which you then would link to admin views, which you then an admin view will link to a component. That's the most basic workflow. So you would first create fields. Now the demo component builder data that is available on GitHub, component builder on GitHub, you'd see that we have actually, if you download this version, it's exactly the same as well, there isn't a better version, if I could explain it that way. So what you get here from GitHub is the full component. Nothing is removed, and none of the features are taken out. It has all the features in it. The only difference is I have not added as much demo data to it as I have done to the tutorial version. It's the same version actually, it just has more demo content in it. So back on our website, if I was to go to fields, field types, you'd see that there are already a lot of field types set up in the demo, the free version basically, except for example this custom and this one here, that I don't think they are there. They are not part public version. But you can actually set them up yourself. They they uh, they can be created, since you can create more field types. Only the reality is you need to know some information that are not so well. If you can't really read PHP that well, and you can't go through the compiler and figure it out, then obviously we would rather have you support us. In that way, the project gets sustained. So to support us by buying the tutorials, or access to the tutorials, you'd get this upgraded version where you would then have more fields, more field types, and a lot of admin views and components, demo structures in place. So that you can look at what has been done. Just like now, when you open, for example, admin views, you'd see that there is some admin views there, and you can look at them and see how we did what we did there. And I think it's almost enough for you to get started well off. There are some of the more advanced concepts that we only really touch on during the tutorials and in the tutorial demo content. Well, you can successfully build components with this component builder all the way to the front of the website. It has what we call site views. Now the site views, we purposefully broke away from setting up a standard of how to build it through an interface. Instead, we let you actually do the HTML integrated with the PHP yourself. But to assist you with that, we obviously have what is called a dynamic get area, where you can create a dynamic get, and then we sort of create snippets of how the PHP should look to actually use this in your component. Obviously, you need to select the same main get as the one that you're using snippets of, so that you don't use the wrong snippets in the wrong place. Okay, so there is just a little insight there. Here would go the content for the front end, and there's another snippet. And then there's some snippets that we've set up for you. How to set up a animated slide right. You'd use this, and you can click on this, see more details, and go look on their website how it's done. Component Builder will automatically detect that you've used the UIKit library on the front, and it will add the UIKit library to the front end dynamically. Whereas there is one more place you need to do that, and that's in the component itself. You need to also switch some switches to activate the UIKit library. Anyway, so you can set up some layouts as well as some templates in the template and layout area, and use them inside of the site view. By just adding this snippet, for example, like that, just adding it there, Component Builder will detect that you are adding a layout, and that it's this layout that you're adding, and it will go through the layouts and see if this exists, and if it does, it will actually add it in automatically. So no need to switch it on somewhere. Just adding it to the code in this default view will automatically add it into the component, and you'll add it to the structure of the component. There are obviously a lot of fancy switches and things that you can do beyond the basic. In our tutorials we go into depth about that. So here's your templates. In templates you can use templates, which is quite nice. So you can use layouts and templates inside of templates, really making it very versatile. Also another place again for custom scripting. Just a sort of a tip, if you don't know where this will show up, just add it like a comment like here it is, and then save and compile your component with this template in place. Add it to some view, of course, and then search your code base to see where that came up. And that's an easy way to find out where custom scripting is allocated. Here's your layouts. Again, your layouts, it looks a little different. It starts with display data instead of this item and stuff like that. So you need to be aware of that. We try to sort of tell you that here. But you can add layouts in layouts. Obviously you can't use templates here, but you can add layouts here, layouts in layouts, and Component Builder will detect that you've used this layout in that layout, and it will automatically load this into your component on compilation. Okay, so that's adding layouts, front-end side views. Obviously you can add more snippets if you'd like. If you have a specific HTML library or snippet that you'd like to use, you could do that. If you go to components, there's also a way to create like, let me show you this. In settings, you can be adding custom files. So if you're using a library that we don't have included, or you want to use some custom PHP or anything really, you can either import it through a folder, or you could import it through a file. Now, the placement of the folder and the file is in the custom folder. So if you go to Joomla's folders, then you go to the backend admin, then you go to components, then you go to component builders folder in components. You'll see that there is a folder called custom. So whatever files you'd like to include, just place them in the custom folder and they'll appear here in this list. And you can add them. If they should be updated, meaning that there is a placeholders in it that needs to be replaced. I'm not going to explain much of that. Again, please look at our tutorials. Purchase access to them, support this project. The project is sustained through the sale of the tutorials at the moment. Eventually one day we would like to open it up and make it free. Really let this component become a community project. This is my actual desire. But until then, until we have more, you see we don't have donations running at the moment, so until then we'll have to sell the tutorials. There are some nice features here. Here is that switch to make sure that UIKit is added. Just tick this to yes. Food table, we have version 2 and 3. I would always suggest if you start off a project, use free instead. And if you don't know how it works, go Google food table and look at version 3 and what you can do, and that you can use in the front end as well as the back end. If you're trying to do some custom view in the back end, you obviously use custom admin views, which is very similar to side views, except that it is for the back end. And you would create new, and the same thing applies here. You can actually use templates and layouts right here that you might also be using in the front. You can just add it here, and Component Builder will automatically detect that it needs to be used in the back and add it incorrectly. If you want to use this view in the dashboard, you could just add an icon here for it. Yeah, this is working very much the same as the side view. So you've got your dynamic gets. Well, the dynamic gets, let's see, it's this one here, right? Now what is the dynamic get? Well, it's basically a place there where you could set up a get function. Inside a module there's an area that actually gets the data, and here is a place where you can, through a user interface, set up a dynamic get. I'm not going to explain too much here, I'd like you to support our tutorials, but you have these selection options. The one mostly used, of course, is the backend view, and then this would be targeting a specific view you've created. If you haven't created any backend views, then there won't be any in this list. You need backend views to admin views, to actually populate this list. And if you do, it will automatically set the data, and you can build some inheritance classes here and filters and stuff. Really a powerful tool. even add some custom scripting, do some calculations, and set what type of get is this. One item, multiple items. If you have, you can only add one main get function to any site or custom backend view. So it's either an item or a list query, one of those two. But sometimes you would like more things to be loaded on the page. That's when you'd use the custom or the customs, that's again plural, option in getting data. Only the list query can work with Pignation. Pignation means it will snip the data at the global setting of either 20 or 50 items per page. It will automatically add the Pignation to your view, but yeah, for most part, if you want to do a lot of custom stuff, you'd usually say no Pignation. But that again, you can, experiment with it. Okay, so that's the dynamic gets, and that's where you get them, or set them rather. Once they set, you could use them in custom admin views as well as in site views. These two are the main components to integrate with dynamic get views. Okay, that's a quick overview, I suppose, of a very powerful component builder, which I hope and believe would be of great use to you. And if you have any questions, please feel free to open issues on GitHub, or even to support the project. You could scroll down here and it says here, get access to the video tutorials. Just click on this here and follow the instructions on the page and support us. I'm looking forward to hearing from you. Thank you for watching.